Yeah, no, it's great. it's I was graduating with my master's last year, and it just so happened Colleen was graduating from master's at the exact same time, and we were in Tempe. This is back when actual in-person graduations existed. Now they've moved to an online format. So. Are there any seniors in here, by the way? I probably should ask that before I make this joke, because it's a really terrible joke for seniors, and I don't want to upset them. Jose, good to see you. Rafael, good to see you. Always love the backyard shots. I'm out in Tempe. I'm celebrating. I'm having a good time. And I just so happened to run into Colleen. It's like, you're graduating. I'm graduating. We start talking. And I realized that she was on a different level. And I was very impressed. And we exchanged contact information. So I started following her on social media, which she'll talk about later. And I realized she had a great message. And I thought people need to hear this. People need to hear what she's saying. I think a lot of the things that we cover in this course relates to what she's going to share with you tonight. Hopefully help reinforce some things. What's up, Sarah? Good to see you. Alexis, good to see you as well. So I asked her to come and speak with us through Zoom. So if you would, you can jump in at any time because she's going to ask you questions. So feel free to jump in and share something. You can also use the chat feature tonight. We're going to use heavily the chat feature. Like I said, I am recording this class tonight. So if you have any privacy issues, if you don't want anything to be shared or something, just let me know and we can always address that head on. So Colleen, I believe you have the ability to share screens.
Yep, it should be up. Should be good. Hopefully you can see it.
I'm going to put myself on mute. And I'd like to introduce to my friend, Colleen Gallagher, who's here to speak to us. And thank you for taking your time. And yeah, please.
Thank you so much. So I'm super, super excited to be here, you guys. Guys, sorry, I always try to be careful of that. I need to say it better. But anyway, I am super excited to be here. And for this next hour, we're going to share. In the past, we've gone a little bit over, but if you have to leave, that's totally fine. I want this to be super interactive, so please take yourself off mute for any questions you have, or if you want to have a comment. I'm here just to support you in whatever way that looks. Today, what I'm going to be talking about is creating a mindset that will empower you to live the life of your dreams. And many of you may not have thought about living the life of your dreams. However, I just want to share some perspective. I'm 26 years old, so young, I should say. I'm the same age as you guys, really. Like, I'm much closer to your guys' age than you think. And I went to undergrad at Michigan State University, where I got a marketing degree. And I'll get into more of my background. I went then and got my Master's of Science in Global Technology and Development from ASU, and I start my PhD in psychology at Pepperdine in the fall of this year, which is just extraordinary. And I'll have a doctorate by 30. And I have multiple businesses that I've started. I've traveled to nearly 40 countries. I've helped numerous people start businesses or leave a corporate setting and live the life that they want and really impact the world and make money from that. So in this, I just want to really share this presentation of just expanding your heart and expanding your mind and your perspective of what can be possible for you super quickly. And so with that, we'll jump in. So I'm just going to have my background, so share a little bit more about me so you know that. I want to go over kind of what do you really desire? What do you desire from this world? What do you really want to say you're proud to create by the time you're 25, maybe by the time you're 30 or 40? To really expand yourself to thinking in that capacity of what you as one human being could do, not only for yourself, but for your family, but for other families. And looking at, the pandemic that's going on right now, maybe what you could create in the future for people that don't have money or don't have access to food, how you could be someone that's creating a solution to that. With whatever happens years from now. And I'm going to share with you a method of mine that I teach my very first book that I wrote, about my fourth book that I'll be writing, which will be on Amazon. And I am super just excited. And then at the end, we'll have a very interactive exercise. Usually we run a little bit late, but it'll be perfect. So with that, let's get into it. So one thing I like to start out with is who's just excited to be here? And you can be honest if you're like, I'm not excited to be here. I don't really like school. I'm a little bit annoyed. Okay, cool. And you guys can do the chat too, but don't be shy. So cool, that's exciting. A lot of you are excited to be here. That's awesome. I'm super can feel you guys are excited about it. So the next question that I have is who's excited about their life? tap it, or you can type in. Okay, we have a thumbs up. One person's excited about their life. Anyone else? Or people are just like, I'm not too excited. I'm feeling the vibe of people are like, I'm just not that excited. Chat. Let me see. It's so. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so we're kind of meh about life. That's what I'm gathering from this. Okay, so the next thing, who's excited about their future? We've got one. I see one thumbs up. I'm excited. We've got that. You can unmute yourself and talk when I'm asking questions. Okay, so we have more people that are excited about their future than about their life right now. So what I'm hearing is you're kind of excited to be here. You're not so excited about the present moment in your life, but you're very excited about your future, what could be possible. So the next thing I would ask you is, what would it take for you to be excited about your future? For those of you who are excited, or those of you who aren't, like, what would make you excited about your future? Would it be knowing that you're going to have a job? Would it be knowing that you're going to make money, knowing that you're going to help people, traveling the world? Like, what would make you excited about your future? And you can take yourself off mute to answer.
I think having stability is really motivating, or like being able to like kind of plan out your next moves based on something that you know is going to be stable. That's really motivating, you know. But also,
what do you mean by stable? Can you help me understand that? Like, do you mean stable as in like I get up and I, go work 9 to 5 every day? Stable as I get a paycheck every day, every 2 weeks?
I see stable as in doing something that makes you happy and that can support yourself. So if that means a 9 to 5, then yeah. But if that means like a freelance job, then yeah. So it's like knowing that you have the ability to do what you want to do and also support yourself from it. That's like my main like motivation.
I love that. Thank you for sharing, Sarah. Anyone else? One more person? Should I call on people? I don't know. I feel like we need one more person that needs to share.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly acceptable to call on somebody.
Okay, I can't see names, but I just unmuted you. I just unmuted you.
Feels bad. I just typed it out.
Oh.
But yeah, basically I agree with Sarah on the stability, like knowing that you have what you have been looking forward to. Like, I'm assuming like most everyone here is going to be doing 4-year degrees or more. Like having that goal really close in sight.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's really perfect. I like that. And I see the other one, knowing that I'll be fulfilled with my career. So that's really exciting. So I think I have one more question here. Oops, before I go into who I am. So what I want to share about this, what's really, really important to go into with this is I want to share something for all of you, and I'll get into, I had cancer at the age of 14. And I'll get more into that in my next slide. Yet I want to share with you about a time in my life I wasn't really excited. I remember when I was in college, your guys' age, I have a scar in my neck still, but when I was in college, I did chemotherapy for a bit, and I had all these other things that happened, and a lot of boys would actually make fun of me, or guys would tell me that I'm ugly, or people would say really mean things to me about my neck. And it was really, really hard for me to like want to go to class. It was really, really hard for me to want to like be happy, because I felt like I was always so insecure of what someone was going to say. I felt so insecure about what was happening in my life when I'd be going to the hospital and seeing other kids that maybe weren't going to make it, or other parents that were fighting about money for treatment. And I had a lot of this momentum in me and energy that I didn't really know what to do with, because it just felt like I had so much going on in my life that it was uncertain. And I feel like there was so much in other people's life that was going on, and it was uncertain. And it's like, how can you as one person be a human that feels good about what you're doing? And how can you be excited about that? How can you be committed to that? And one thing that I want to share with you is, when I talk about here, and I put there, something that I've really learned in all of it, and I'm going to share with you, is all you have in life is the present moment. And I know you can go into many ways of thinking that, but when you really think of it, like even what's happening right now, like we can only show up to something and really choose to be excited, or we can choose not to be excited. But when we go through life and we're constantly choosing not to be excited, we're like, oh, this is a drag. I have to do this. I have to do this. Your life isn't going to be very fun. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be attracting opportunities to you, or are coming up with solutions of how you can create sustainability for yourself, because you're always going to be looking at kind of a lack mentality of like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to be here? And if you can really shift that around into allowing yourself to understand that it's not actually what you do that's important, it's the matter of how you do something. So let me give you an example. I shared this a little bit ago. I went to the grocery store the other day, and I was not excited to go to the grocery store because there's lines in every grocery store in LA right now, and it's like a whole ordeal. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to go. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get in the vibe of, you know what, it's gonna be exciting, it's gonna be expansive. I'm super pumped to go. So I go to the grocery store, I get in, and what do you know? A woman's card declined, and she was with her kid, like she couldn't get her groceries. So I said, you know what, let me get them for you. And I was able to actually get this woman's groceries for her and her kids for this. And I was like, wow, that felt so good. Yet if I would have been so annoyed about being in the grocery store, so annoyed that I have to go, I don't even know if I would have been able to see or pay attention to how I could have helped someone else, because I would have been in such a negative energy of I have to do this, instead of like, you know what, I'm gonna make the best out of it. Even though it's not the greatest situation, I'm gonna be the best I can be. And that's the energy and momentum of excitement. And that's what excitement can do for you. And I'm not saying that that's, you know, obviously I don't think we want to buy groceries every single day for every single person, but in a place right now, I mean, how many of us would we feel really good to contribute to life right now if we knew someone couldn't pay for something, or kids couldn't pay for something, and we could do that? I think most of us on this call are, you know, good human beings with hearts, and we'd be like, that would feel so good to do that. But if we're in the momentum of I can't do this, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this, I'm not excited, you're not going to create opportunities like that for yourself. And those are what I call small wins. Those are what are called small motivation, small momentum of understanding that there's a greater reason that you're here. And anytime you have feelings of kind of depression, I say, or like you're like, oh, this sucks, I don't want to do that, it's because you're not living into your full potential. You know, I study psychology and marketing. I've done that for a long time. I've been in sales since age 17. And anytime that you are feeling depressed, you're feeling sad, I mean, there's real emotions behind that. Yet the reality is it's because you're truly not living into your fullest potential. And anytime your feelings are down, or I say they're in a negative state instead of kind of lifting you forward, it's because the world's trying to teach you something. There's a lesson in it for you. And so anytime you feel that feeling of depression, which I've felt many times in my life, I go, where am I not living into my full potential? Because if I was really serving people, if I was really helping people, I couldn't be depressed. If I really believed in myself that I could help someone else by being me, I couldn't be depressed. That depression is costing me way too much for me to make someone else's life different. The other thing that I want to share about you, which I know I share, is, you know, what makes you excited about the future. A lot of times if we're feeling anxious, we're like, how is this going to work out? I want a job, I want to do these amazing things, but I don't know how it's going to happen, or this, and I'm just anxious. Well, it's because you're working too much in the future instead of just being present in the now for whatever is meant to unfold. So I was like really starting out with that because I like seeing where you guys are, who's excited to be there, who's excited for life. And it sounds like a lot of you are excited for your future more than you're excited to be here. So which would probably tell me psychologically, a lot of you have feelings of anxiety come up sometimes. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that would be somewhat of this group. And that's not bad or good. It's just, you know, an awareness to have for you to really be who it is you want to be. Does that make sense to everyone? I don't have any questions on that. Give it a minute. Everyone got it? And I know that's a lot of information that I'm putting, but we're recording this, so you can always go back and retake the notes. Cool. So the next thing that I like to go through is just who am I, and this will just take a very short time. But like I've shared with you, I had cancer at age 14. I was supposed to be on medication for the rest of my life. The past 3 years, when I started traveling the world, I've never had to be on medication ever again. I'm an author of Live Your Truth, which is on Amazon. I have a bachelor's, as I said, from Michigan State. I was a key account sales engineer for a $23 billion company at age 21, and I grew my territory 0 to $1 million in 8 months, then $5 million to $8 million in 8 months. I then left that because I realized that I wasn't happy, and I was making $100,000 plus with everything that I was getting commissions, and I got to fly in a corporate jet and all these things, and I had it all, and I left it, and I moved across the world to New Zealand. So it's like, you know what, I'm not gonna just do a path just to make a lot of money. I really want to find out what I'm here to do. So I moved to New Zealand, and I got a job within 4 weeks for a $400 million company where I was covering Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. And from that moment, I realized you can't just pick yourself up, put yourself in a new location across the world and expect things to be different unless you do something internal to change yourself. And so I decided I was going to leave that, and I started my own company calling Gallagher International, which is just about 2 years old, which is like super exciting. And from that time, I've, like I said, traveled to nearly 40 countries. I've lived in New Zealand, Cuba, South Africa, United Kingdom, Italy. I'll be living in India with my PhD for a short while. And I've lived all over Arizona, Texas, Maryland, Michigan, California. It's pretty amazing. And my master's of science, I was actually able to write another book, which was about the future for Rohingyas educations in Bangladesh. And Rohingyas is a group of refugees and displaced people. There's 1 million of them, so it's the largest group of displaced people or refugees in one area. And that book actually got published through a company called Lambert. If you guys look at a lot of the books that you buy for school, Lambert is usually the publisher. It's one of the biggest publishing houses for academia in the world. And I start my PhD, as I shared. So I've helped a lot of people start businesses. I mean, hundreds. I've done so much with nonprofits, with for-profits, with companies, and I'm just really passionate about what I'm teaching you about how to really find who it is you're meant to be and live into that potential and make money from it. Because I truly believe that the more people that you impact, it's actually the more money that you make. And I truly believe that Rohingya. Are you saying? Oh yeah, you wrote it down. I got it. And so I really want to share with you, you know, when you look at something, however you feel about, let's say, Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs or even Bill Gates right now, we can say whatever, but looking at that amount of people and the money that they have, they employ a lot of people. When you look at, they give a lot of people money for the mortgage payments. They pay for schooling for a lot of families for them to get their masters or through higher education. You can say a lot of things about those companies, but the reality is they provide a lot of opportunity for people to feel like they're contributing to the world. And so you want to, in this, I hope to get you vibrating or thinking in a way that's going to expand you of what you could do in your life in a very short amount of time. As I said, I wasn't you that long ago, like 5 years ago. Like it wasn't that long ago when I was you and what's occurred in my life. So with that, what do you desire? So this is going to be really interactive. So I need you guys to be interactive, or I'm going to take you off mute and make you talk. But who here wants to help people? You can type it in the chat or say it. Okay, so most of you. Awesome. Okay, who in here desires to have lots of money? Okay. And I'm curious, like what, just enough to splurge. I love it. Okay, enough is okay. Okay, so tell me, Aaron, what's enough? What's to some of you, what's a lot of money? Or enough?
For me, like a lot of money is like people buying like 5, 10 different cars, like sports cars or vintage cars.
So how much money would that be?
I don't like over 500 is a lot.
500,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? What's a lot of money?
I say, oh wait, is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say like kind of how you said, like 500,000, anywhere like, I don't know, cause like, are you asking like for more than like the average middle class, or like?
I don't want you to think. What do you think if you were like, I know I can help a lot of people, and this is the money I could allocate to help a lot of people? What would that amount of money be for you?
Oh, like it'd have to be like millions, billions, like just because there's like the world is so huge and it doesn't stop growing. So I'd have to be able to have enough money to like make more money by spending money, you know, like.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so
That's a good one. And Autumn, when you say enough to pay my bills and essentials, could you share what enough is for you?
Yeah, so I think for me, just like I feel like after like the way I was raised too, I think my goal is just to be able to like take care of my family and not have to worry about money. Like I kind of just want to be like successful to the point in my life where like whenever I know bills are due, I don't have to be stressing like, do I have enough money to pay those bills? Like
what's that amount? Give me a number.
Oh, I don't know. I never really, cause it depends like a lot on like, cause I feel like like people were saying 500,000, right? I feel like that's kind of like a good amount for like
Okay.
a salary. Like I feel like that's kind of even like a little bit extra. It kind of depends. Like I feel like as long as you're comfortable, because like that could be talking about like a big house and like a big family and stuff like that. So I think it also just depends on kind of like what situation you're in, but just essentially just like where you're comfortable to like have that money, just have like your house and essentials paid for, and then like the extra money after. But I don't know an exact number.
Yeah. No, I love that. This is good, you guys. I like this. This is really great. I agree with you, Autumn. Awesome, Karina. Alexis agreed. Raphael, definitely something in the 7 figures or 8 figure. That's awesome. So I love that. 8 figures, $10 million. I'm just saying that. 45K with benefits. Yep. I don't know what equates to 401k and savings for retirement nowadays, but that's that. There's so many other things you could do besides 401k. Yes, but I love that. I don't want millions, but if I was blessed with that, I would love to travel the world helping as many people as possible. Claudia, I love that. That is, who's Claudia? Sorry, I'm trying to just get all your, can you just say hello, whoever it is? Claudia.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
Oh, yay. Okay, awesome. I love that. I love that. I think it depends. Money to have to save and put away as well as money for free time. Okay, awesome. These are really good, you guys. We're gonna get into this conversation, but I want you just to keep playing here with me. The other thing is, I want to ask you, who in here desires to create a life so they can spend time doing what they love? Most of you. Okay, I think all of you. Okay, who in here has already thought about retirement? You can type it in the chat because it's probably another one. Anyone else thought about retirement? Emily, yeah. I already thought of the struggle of it. Yes. Okay, and tell me, what have you guys thought about retirement? Like, have you thought about just 401k and Roth? Have you thought about creating passive income? Have you thought about becoming an investor and an advisor on a board? Have you thought about owning a company? I mean, what have you thought about with that? Who in here knows what passive income is? Okay, I'll share what passive income is. So let's say I have an online business, right? And in my online business, I have a Facebook ads that I run that have lead generation. So I raise clients and I have online programs. And so I make money without really having to touch anything that comes in every month because I've already created it. From that, I don't, it's literally almost a button now that goes there. And one thing that I'm working on now, which is something I never thought of, is now working on passive income from emails. So how I can set up email sequences to a group of people that have already opted into my books or my ebooks, and then they get into a program that I offer them that allows them to change their life. Now, what I do with that money, because that's through Facebook, is I've taken that money and I've invested it into real estate. So I now have homes that I have a real estate person that manages houses for me that he rents out, and I pay him a fee, and I make money every month from homes that I have when I'm not having to do much. I'm getting to live my life and create and write and get my PhD and do all these things. Do you guys understand the concept of passive income?
Colleen, are you open to sharing what you make on like a Facebook or an Instagram ad?
Yeah, so my Facebook ads, when I started them, I make $10,000 a month from Facebook ads. And my real estate on top of that, I have 3, and I make around 5,000 to 8,000, depending on what's going on.
So I think my initial response is, holy shit. Okay, I'm listening.
So one thing I want to share with you, though, is it's not necessarily about the money. When I looked at that, the people that are in my programs, remember, that it's not like I'm just doing this and I've gotten that money. I've helped more people become 6-figure business owners. I've helped someone have their first $1 million month. That means they made $1 million in 30 days. And I helped them do that by the second day of the month. And so when you start to look at this, and what that person was doing is they were taking that money and they were building an orphanage in Mexico to help children have basically a home and have water. And so it's in this way of the things that I've learned how to do, I've been really able to transition that. The things that I'm doing now is in the next 18 months, I'm now learning what it would take to have investors do a holistic healing center for cancer. So it's not like I'm saying, I'm just doing these things and the money's just there. Like I said, I got to go to the grocery store the other day. I didn't really want to go to the grocery store. It's not about what you do, it's about how you show up. And I showed up to it and I was like, oh, this is so annoying. And I was like, okay, I'm going to catch myself and I'm going to say, this is exciting. This is great. And this mom's card declined because she didn't have money for food. So I bought her food. That I didn't go of, I want to feel great about myself, and I wouldn't even say that story if it wasn't sharing an example with you, because there's so many stories I can share with you like that. I'm just sharing that story because I want you to see what's possible for you. I truly believe every single one of you in this room would feel so, if you saw someone's card decline in front of you right now with what's happening, I think each of you would genuinely want to help. I mean, each of you seem like human beings that have a heart. You know, I think most people, that's what we want to do, is we want to help people. And I think when you look at this, whether it's through retirement, is can you do retirement in a way of just a 401k where you're working for someone, or can you make your money work for you? Can you actually be the person that's going to solve solutions, that give solutions to problems that you care deeply about? Is that something you can do? And it absolutely is. And I want to help you understand how you can do that. So who in here has thought about how they're going to make a sustainable income? Anyone? Anyone? No? Okay, and how have you guys thought about it? Like a 9-to-5 consulting? I know, Sarah, I think you said like you thought about was it contracting or the other, but anyone else have any ideas of how they're gonna make it?
Okay, I'm gonna not use the chat. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, do it.
So I was thinking, cause like I know like the whole 401k is like, I feel like it wouldn't be sufficient enough. So in addition to that, I thought about doing like a side business, maybe a few of them, you know, maybe like
Yeah.
investing in like stocks, or like maybe like even I was like planning on I'm getting my certification for personal training. So however long I choose to do that. So that as a side thing too, in addition to my doctorate program that I'm planning on doing.
Amazing. So one thing I wish this is beautiful, and thanks for sharing this. One thing that I would tell you guys, and this wasn't told to me actually until probably 8 months after I started my business, and I wish someone would have told me it. Every money you make, so even if it's from your job, or even if it's from your, like if you were to do training, every single amount of money that goes into your account, you should be saving 10% of that. 10% of that, you should pretend like it's not even existent. Like you should just have that in a savings that's just going, that's not even with the government, it's not even with taxes or IRA, like that's just 10% that you have in there for things like investments, for if you wanted to do an Airbnb, if you wanted to start running your own Airbnb. You know, I had friends last year who started their own Airbnb and they made $16,000 extra in a year. And this is definitely something that's sustainable income. It's something that's definitely going to let you do more things. So I love that you shared that and what you shared about training, because that goes back to you want to help people. You want to help people feel healthy. Who in here has thought about sales? Interesting. So none of you. Tell me your feelings on sales for those of you in here. I know you shook your head. Is it Raphael? Or it might be messing it up. Sorry. Who in here has thought about sales? Or why haven't you thought about it? Or how do you feel about it? I know some of you have opinions on this. Come on.
I'm assuming like for sales as in like corporate sales, like
No, just whatever you think of me. Don't think too much about it. Like, what do you think of sales? Just a simple question. When you hear that word, what do you think?
I'll definitely promoting a product or something like that to help.
I love that. Anyone else? Sales? We got 2 more people. Well, 1 or 2 more people. Their thoughts on sales. Hold on. I muted you. Hold on. Go. Oh, we're doing each other. There you go. This. Do you want to say?
Am I muted or not?
No, I was trying to unmute you, but you were trying to mute yourself. And we were like,
No, it's because it gives me the option.
yeah. No, you're good. Go, Emily.
Well, I really just think more like, don't laugh. I think about like The Office, like that sells to me.
Yeah.
Or like car sales.
Salespeople
like
that are like, oh,
businesses.
yeah.
Really.
No, thanks for being honest.
For me, that's not something I would be interested in. But I mean, there are people who are really good at it. I could never be like that persuasive, you know, like, oh, like come buy this. Like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be right for that. So I never really thought about that.
Well, so tell me, Emily, tell me something you're passionate about. Like if you were like, you know, this is a problem in the world that if I could solve, I would be super passionate about it. What would that be? Like hunger, sustainability, child trafficking, like what would it be?
I'm really interested in like crimes against children. So not even just with like their parents, but other people as well, you know. Like I've seen a lot of cases where children aren't believed, or like they're believed to like say like, oh, they made it up, or you know, they don't ever get enough support because they're children. So I would really like to help children like that.
So play with me here, Emily. So if you were, let's say, a lawyer, or if you were someone who was a judge, and you could really sell how there is a law to protect children. Yeah, I think you'd be all in of like, I'm going to maybe not sell the law, but I'm going to do everything in my power to say this law to make sure that people know, because I believe and stand by these kids so much.
Right.
You just bought yourself into a sales position.
Okay.
So what I'm demonstrating here is, and then what I share with you is, every single one of us, you will be selling for the rest of your life. When you think of this computer screen that you're looking at, when you think of this mug, when you think of this mouse, when you think of your iPhone, like everything all the time is being sold to you. Your car, your people that you talk to, every single thing is going to be sold to you. And so the thing is learning that you as a human being aren't selling something that you don't believe in. It's to really find what it is you believe in as a person, what you really stand for, and to stop at nothing until that is completed. Because if people say that, you know, there's all these problems in the world, and what I truly, truly believe is we can place all the blame of what's going on in the world, yet the only thing we can control is what we do. And if what we do is to speak our voice and to act with conviction and go, you know what, I believe in what I'm doing, regardless of what everyone else is saying, I believe in what I'm doing, here's the results that I believe it's happening in the world, you are selling. But you're now not selling in a used carsman way. You're not just selling at a $0 to $1 million in 8 months from an electrical company that I didn't really care about. I was trying to be like, I'm a woman and I want to be woman equality, and I worked in a male dominated field, which was great, but it was super masculine. It wasn't what I wanted. It didn't feel good. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't be my expression. I could do that sales, but that's not what I wanted. And it's truly learning that no matter what you're doing in life, you're always going to be selling. Whether you're even if you do go to a job, and you're, even if all of us, I truly believe with a lot of us here talking, and I can feel the energy, is even if all of us were to be hired at, you know, a coffee shop, I think almost every one of us would be pushed up to the management level pretty easily. We'd be like, okay, I'm ready for the next thing. Like all of you kind of seem like that. You want to have that momentum, or you find something because you're like, well, you're selling yourself. You're like, I believe in myself enough to know that I'm going to be the best at the coffee thing, and I don't even know how to make coffee, but I'm going to be the best, and I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to manage people, because that's what you want for your life. And when you could do that while believing in something, your life will really, really shift rapidly. Does anyone else have any other thoughts they want to share? Anyone? All right. So the other one is, who in here has thought about the fact they can leave the world a better place? Okay. And what are some of the ways that you guys want to leave the world a better place? I'll unmute you. Do you have a way? You know, you want to leave the world a better place?
I hope so.
Like what?
I think
What is,
well, right now I think a big thing is, oh, 1 second.
You're here.
Okay. I think a big thing that I would want to do is, I just forgot what I was going to say.
No worries. What are you passionate about? Tell me like what you're passionate about. Something that like it excites you.
Something that excites me. Well, I've been thinking about how, because of this coronavirus thing, our world, like a lot of things have been better, like pollution, and I feel like right now, like this society, plastic is overflowing. We see a lot of like videos and pictures of like oceans being filled with plastic, and like sea life is almost going extinct. So I feel like that's one thing that I'd be interested to do.
Perfect. I love that. And plastic is a huge problem. It's going to continue to be. I know companies right now are having to be innovative with like their new packaging to not have plastic, or they're getting taxed on it. So you just now possibly allowed yourself to be an innovator of how that could happen for a company, of you selling something and now making money doing what you love. I mean, there's a lot of ideas between here and there, but that's a really great starting point. So thank you for sharing. I'm just reading this. For me, I like to volunteer for charities. Like before Thanksgiving or last year, like Gaming Club here on campus did a charity live stream to help raise money for Phoenix children, and raised roughly $1,000. Incredible. So what I'd say, Raphael, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, is that what if you could be the person that owned the charity? What if you could be the person that is now giving other people a job and a reason to come? You're the one that's talking with investors. You're the one that's creating the vision. What if you could do that? What if you could expand yourself to be the reason someone else is finding their purpose through an organization you've structured? And not only that, you're helping children. What if you could let yourself dream there and go there? You could be the one that's creating this business. And your business naturally is helping the world be a better place. I think a lot of you, when you were saying, $500,000 or whatever, you look at money a lot differently. You'd go, well, if I had $5 million and I could create 3 charities and I could do this, what could be possible? How many people could I help with that $5 million? And it becomes a different way of just, instead of I want $500,000 to pay my bills and enough left over, you're going to have more than enough for whatever luxury you want. You'll have more than enough. But at the same time, you're going to be helping. And what I've learned in all the businesses that I've studied, the people who really have it all are those who are helping, and they never really thought how the money was going to come. But realizing that when they help, the money can go towards a greater good. I'm with Emma for the youth. Awesome, Claudia, with youth. I love that. So with that, who in here has thought about what your life could be like 12 months from now? You can raise your hand or do this. So some of you said you're excited about your future. It seems like you guys are really living in the future. You're like, I'm excited about the future. It's better than being here. So that's like being indoors every day. Okay, so a lot of you haven't thought what your life could look like in 12 months from now. Very cool to know. Okay, so with that, we're gonna go into this 3-step methodology that I'm gonna share with you. 1 second, I just wanna read this because I think a big thing with money, in my opinion, is the more you give, the more you get. Exactly. Giving the money is not the priority, but if you're in the situation to help a family member or a friend out with something, then you will be truly wealthy. Absolutely. Autumn hit the nail on the head. And the fact that you said that means that you're so much further ahead than a lot of other people. And I love seeing this from you guys who are still in undergrad, because there's a lot of people who don't have that, and they've made a lot of success doing money, but they're still not happy. And so for you to fully understand that concept of, yes, the more that you give, the more that you get, it's really the more that you give, the more that you receive, is a beautiful place. Yeah, there is some part in it is you have to create a structure, right? You have to create a structure of where you can help people. So example, if I was just to, if I was just to go outside every day and go on walks and not be like, okay, I have a business I have to show up for. Okay, I have online programs. Okay, I have clients. Okay, I have whatever. Then I wouldn't be able to really give people, because I'm outside walking around all day, just talking to people and saying, hey, how are you? How's your day? Which is great, but I'm not really having a way to structurally add value. And that's why it's important to have what I call a business infrastructure that allows you to give in a way that feels good for you and allows you to receive from that giving. So what I call in this first step is called finding your truth. And this is based off my first book. So number one is you really want to find clarity on who you are, your truth of why you're here. So a lot of you, like I said, when I was your age, not that long ago, I wouldn't have, when I was 21 or 20 or 19, I would have told you you were crazy if you would have told me I would be living in Thailand, I'd be living in Bali, I'd be living in Russia, I'd be on all the, I would have literally looked at you and been like, you have lost your mind. I need to work and I've got to do this stuff and I've got to make it to the top and I'm going to be this powerful woman in business that people are going to see. I would have told you you're nuts. And I really, really believe there was something that shifted in me is when I stopped focusing so much on just wanting to climb to the top of this tower that I thought there was. And I started actually following my feelings and following what felt good to me. My life shifted into everything I've just shared with you, how my life is. And so one thing that I took this from Warren Buffett, he said, is that you should write down 10 things that excite you. Because remember, as I said, excitement is the most contagious energy. So just write down 10 things that excite you whenever you have time or whenever you want to. And out of that list, don't like think a lot about it, just write it down. The 3 top things that you write down that excite you, that should be what you focus on for the rest of your life and nothing else. So if it's traveling, you should focus on traveling and a business infrastructure will come out of that. If it's your family, you should focus on how to create a business out of family. Whatever those 10 things are, the top 3 things is exactly, you should never look at anything else your whole life. If it's adventure, if it's fashion, if it's interior design, if it's food, whatever that it is, like that should be your main focus of your life. And there will be an infrastructure that follows around that for you to do what you love, for you to have more than a 401k, for you to have investments, for you to do whatever it is that you want. Does that make sense to everyone? Or does anyone have any question about that? No? Okay. The other thing is I tell you this a lot, and this will probably happen to you guys a little bit after this because we just kind of went, and Autumn, thanks for sharing. It's hard to think about the future when we've been locked inside for right now. But we all know there's going to be an end date. There's going to be a future. You know what I'm saying? And we want to look of not when it's over, what can we start doing and planning right now while can't really go out to help people? Can we create a business plan? Can we Google how to create a business plan? Can we Google how to start a nonprofit? Can we Google how to build a website? How to start, when you mentioned that someone wanted to do workout trainings, like, can I see what my pricing plan would be? What would I offer? Like, those are things that you can start to create while you have nothing else to do. Like, you can actually start doing what you love. And what I share is you want to start journaling or writing notes in your phone. I do this all the time of like ideas. So if you go to the grocery store or you see something like a homeless person or you see something with children that bothers you, like write in your notes, this really bothered me. I saw this problem today. I really didn't like it. I wish I could have done something about it. And I want to write it in my notes because I'm going to come back to it someday and realize how I could solve that problem. When you're finding out who you're really meant to do, all you start doing is becoming aware in the world of all the problems that there are and how you can be the solution. Every time you complain, that literally is world telling you could create a solution to that and make money and help people. Because if you're frustrated, a million other people are frustrated too. And so the other thing that I really like to share with this is when you're finding your truth or finding who it is that you're meant to be, a really good question to ask yourself is, instead of thinking logically, like I say, 2 + 2 is 4, I'm going to go to the grocery store, be like, you know what, I'm going to be excited about the grocery store. I'm going to be excited about the food that I'm eating. I'm going to be excited about whatever that is. And asking yourself how it feels. So instead of being like, oh, I have to go to class right now, this sucks, be like, okay, why does this feel like it sucks? Am I not excited because I feel like I'm not going to learn something? Am I not excited because I haven't figured out what I want to do? Am I not excited because maybe I should be taking different classes? Like, what is the feeling that's arising in me, and how can I really understand that feeling and ask myself how I can start feeling better? How I can start doing something that's going to make me feel empowered, feel inspired, feel motivated.
That kind of just reminds me of like the situation I was in last semester.
Mm-hmm.
So for my first semester of college, I did civil engineering, and I would hate going to class, and I started like skipping on classes so much because like even just like the thought of like going there, like it just made me feel really upset because I felt like I didn't understand anything. So I was like, okay, like why am I doing this if it's not what I want? And well, I realized I was doing it for the wrong reasons, and once I switched over to criminology, like I would actually feel like really excited about going to my classes, and I would learn a lot better and like actually engage and take notes. So just really
Yeah, and that's Emily, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing, because you did it yourself. And as your life grows, Emily, it's beautiful you know that, and as all of your lives grows, and I'm just your age, you guys. I feel like I'm literally the same age as you, because I'm not that much older than you at all. And yeah, I really feel that way strongly. You know, this is something I do all the time. If I find myself forcing myself to do something, like I was forcing myself to be in corporate, I was forcing myself to be an engineer, because that was the only way to do like woman empowerment when I was a businesswoman. And I thought traveling the world had to happen through my master's or through a corporation. I didn't even believe in myself that I could do it on my own. And once I built the belief that I could actually travel the world and I could help people and do it on my own, I like never looked back. But it was because I got sick of forcing myself to do things just to receive money. I was like, I cannot live a life where I'm literally forcing myself to live a life for 30 or 40 years just to receive a paycheck, to have a family and one day retire. That's not why I believe that I'm here. And I had to really work through a lot of different things in that. But I really had to realize I didn't feel good. I was suffering from anxiety. I was suffering from depression. I was in an abusive relationship, like all this stuff, that verbally abusive. But it was like all this stuff that I had to realize, even though I had all these great things that I accomplished, emotionally I sucked. Like I was just not there. And so it's looking in your own life, like what you said, like, why am I not going to classes? Classes are good. Like everyone, I think, no matter who you are on this call, we can all say that when you are educated, whether that's a formal education or you are reading books or you're going to a retreat or you're going to a seminar, or you're showing up to an online webinar, that is a form of education. Every time that you show up to something, education is power. You cannot have more power if you are not educated in whatever field that you want. And you can argue that from a mathematics standpoint to a psychology. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't need to have a formal education. I'm not saying that by any means. I don't believe that. I know lots of people that don't have, anything past a high school degree, and they are brilliant. They're so extraordinary, but they've done different ways of education because they look, formal education doesn't feel good for me. I know other ways that do, and that's the way I'm going to do it. And it's just following that. Does that make sense? Something about kind of finding clarity on who you are and your truth? Any questions? Okay. So next thing is speaking. So you can do all day long. You can find what doesn't feel good. You can see, that class doesn't, that the class didn't feel good, what Emily shared of that. But unless I speak it out to someone, this does not feel good, I need to do a change, which would be to your, counselor, your people that were doing your classes. Nothing's going to get changed. You have to speak something when it doesn't feel good, or you have to share when something doesn't seem right, or you're just going to keep doing it the same way. You have to ask for help. And so you have to understand what excites you. So, again, a question that I hate, and this is networking 101. If you take anything from this lecture that I'm sharing you, this is the most important thing I'm going to say this whole lecture. When someone asks you what you do, it is the worst question you could ask someone. Never, never ask someone what you do. Ask someone what you're passionate about. Because what someone does, you can go, oh, I'm an accountant. Oh, I'm this. It gives you nothing about the personality. It gives you no basis of connection. To truly connect with someone, and everything in life is relationships. I went back to that in the very beginning, helping people. If you want to help people, you got to understand how to connect with someone. From understanding how to connect with someone, you got to understand what moves their heart, what is heavy on their heart. So ask someone what they're passionate about. From that, they say, well, I don't know. I've never been asked that. And you go, okay, well, tell me. They go, well, I really like numbers. I'm passionate about that. I was that. So I do accounting and I really like helping that. Now you just understood, for whatever story they tell you of why they like numbers, maybe someone passed away or someone in their family they've done accounting with. You just opened up a whole different conversation of a connection versus, oh, I'm just an accountant. You created a totally different connection. So speak who you truly are. Speak what you're passionate about. Like those of you that said that, family wasn't, or youth was important to you. When people are saying things, don't say, I want to graduate college and get this job. Be like, I'm in college, I'm doing whatever, but I really like helping youth. I want to figure this out. And I don't know the right way I want to help youth yet, but I'm getting this degree and I'm figuring it out. You have no idea. Every person I truly believe that meets you, they want to help you. And so if you don't know, just you saying that, someone older than you that has more just life experience than you could guide you to something you didn't even know was possible. I always say you don't know what you don't know, right? Think of the world, right? We have this big of a world, and what we know, we think we know so much, and we actually know like 1% of what's available to us in the whole universe. So really start to think like what you can do to create an authentic connection with people, because that's much stronger than just a transaction of what do you do. I'm going to college. Well, why are you passionate about college? Well, I think I like learning. I really like my friends. I really like reading about these books or reading these things. Like for me, I love psychology. If you look at my bookshelf and any house that I live in ever, it has like 5,000 books of so many things. And I want to share something with you. Speaking, this is another important thing. I did a lot of work in prison systems as well, just for different reasons. There was things I was moving through, and I wanted to do that. And so, you know, they do this exercise, and you sit across from each other, inmates and the people that aren't, and they ask you to step towards the line. And so when something's happened, so they ask like who has seen someone die or who's killed people. I mean, they go into different ones, and they say, how many books do you have who had 5 books in here growing up? Almost every inmate that you ever know has not had more than 5 books in their house when they were growing up. So to tell you that education is power, and I'm not condemning what they've done or what's happened, but when you look at this at a broader spectrum, that they haven't actually had the opportunity to be educated. You here as a human, you are being educated far greater than someone had from the very time they were born. And how can you speak from that way what you're passionate about and what excites you, what's on your heart? So I went into an example. I don't need to say this example because of our timing, but I just wanted to share that. And the other thing that I like sharing with all of you is social media. So I've built my business and my life around social media. People have so many feelings around it or whatever, but the reality is when you look at social media, it's meant to be social through media. How you use that, if it's for bad, I don't want to say bad, if it's negatively, it's for you to just scroll through and be superficial and do all the things. And trust me, I like shopping on Instagram. I look at things. I'm not judging. But it's, you know, I also have met a lot of people that I've benefited from. You know, today I listened to a webinar from this guy. He does notes from the universe. And he sends it to you every day. And he had this thing about letting go of your past. And I just wanted to hear some of his meditation practices. And I went on and actually learned the reason I was there was no reason that I even thought I went. But it was because I spoke my truth of, you know, I want to have something positive in my inbox, not just business things. And a friend sent this to me. And now I've learned something else. Like these are all things of speaking who you are just from social media can guide you to things, and speaking what excites you on social media instead of just posting. I mean, sure, post a selfie because you all are beautiful people in here and do whatever, but have some value to it. Be like, you know what? I know there's so many people out there that may feel insecure, and this is me like growing my confidence, or, you know, feeling kind of insecure today or whatever that is. Like I know when I was in college, I remember when I would do posts like that when I was doing chemotherapy, like so many women in my classes would reach out to me and be like, oh my God, like I so love that even though your hair is half falling out, you're doing this, or you're wearing your makeup like that. And I remember it was like so meaningful to me that so many people, like I didn't even think it was a big deal, were reaching out to me in college saying that. And so start to see how social media is just actually a platform where you can express yourself and you can help other people by you just being you. That makes sense? Or anyone have any questions on that one before I get to the third one? Okay. So the next one is living your truth. So living is who you are in the world. Just no mask, no pretending, being who you are, and being okay to say, like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I honestly have gotten more and more with that. Like I do know what I want in 12 months. I know where I'm going. I have an idea, but there's so many things, you're right, that could happen from now in 12 months. Like I'm gonna be possibly then like just moving to India and looking at all the stuff that I'm doing with my PhD and finishing my second semester, like almost a full year. Like there's so much that can happen, but I'm going to still be committed to showing up for my business. I'm still going to be committed to helping people find out why they're here. I'm still going to be committed to helping people see that money can be used as a force of good. And what is that for you? So with that, I know we only have a couple minutes left. I guess, does anyone have any questions? We have 6 minutes left. I don't want to rush through it, but do you guys have any questions, thoughts, anything before we go to the exercise? Yeah, Emily?
I guess like I'm pretty sure we all have like goals and dreams and things we want to accomplish, and like these are all like everything you've been saying is like really good, but for me it's kind of always like how to like how to ask the right people for help, or like how to start off, or like, you know, you have it in your head, but like how do you actually like find the right resources to get everything started?
Such a great question, and you are so far ahead of people by you simply asking this. So I really believe I can't say this word, but forget the how. I would say the other word. I wasn't lecturing, but forget the how. I always say is you don't want to think, you want to feel. And you really want to tune into your heart in the moment. Like, does this feel good for me to go and talk to my friends about this? Does this feel good in this text message I'm with to actually be talking about this? Does this YouTube that I'm listening to feel good to be listening to? Does the news channel, do I actually want to be listening to this? Or is this really making me like crazy because it makes me angry and I feel like I can't do something? And it's really tuning into that feeling. And you know, I can tell you this, when I was looking for my master's, I remember I was in Hawaii. There's a friend of mine when I lived in Europe a year after I graduated. 2 months, after I graduated, I lived in Europe for 2 months. And this guy, a bunch of us, it was guys and the girls. And so anyway, they were in Hawaii. So there was like 4 of us all living together for a month when I was in Hawaii. And I remember they were like, Colleen, you're such a researcher. I was like, I am not a researcher. Like, I am no way. I'm not doing this academia thing. You cannot get me sold on it. And then I was like up one night researching about this thing in Hawaii with the stars and this whole astrological thing. And I go, oh my God, they're so right. I'm such a researcher. Said, okay, here we go. Got to Google for my master's now. And I had no idea I wanted to get my master's. It's like, well, I don't want to do psychology. I know I'm not ready for my PhD yet because I don't know. I go, well, there's all this poverty in the world. There's all these things. So what can I do? And I said, okay, maybe I'll just look at, I don't know, poverty is masters. I had no idea. And I literally just start Googling. And all of a sudden it comes up human development and technology. And I go, oh, that sounds interesting. So I go, let me look at this. So it goes how humans have developed, why there's poverty, why there's social and economic like disharmony, and technology. I'm like, well, my business is all social media technology, and I do care about humans are developing. This actually makes like this like seems like it goes perfectly. And I didn't really do much besides just listen to my friends and then follow the path. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and I wish I could give you a more direct answer of like 1 + 1 is 2. Yeah, a lot of what I'm sharing with you, like how each of you want to help people, I can't give you a 1 + 1 is 2 because it's so unique to you, and it's going to be so different for what your life has meant. So the last part is the 10-minute one. Well, we don't have that much time, but I anyway. So what I would be saying is I would just want you to discuss what is your idea of who it is you want to be? How much would you like to be making? What would you be doing? What type of friendships? What type of relationships? Would you have passive income or active income? Like, what exactly would you be doing? Yep, that's something you can do on your own. But with this, I'm happy to take a couple people, so 2 people. I want you just to fill out the sentence. So I desire to, because it inspires me to solve this problem for this world. And just take a shot. I'm going to help you with it, so don't feel nervous. Someone?
I guess it looks like I'll go. For me, I desire to help out people by giving them medicine because I'm going into a pharmaceutical career.
I can't really hear you because it's going like in and out. Your audio. There you go.
I desire to help out people by giving them medicine because it inspires, like it helps me feel good because okay, I'm completely butchering this format, but that's fine.
Oh, you're good. Keep going. You're doing well.
Because it helps me like feel empowered because I'm basically helping people who are sick and be able to provide at least some form of like help, which is medicine,
Amazing.
to a lot of people that are.
So you literally just brought clarity to what's going to happen in your life. You now know that you want to be in the medical field. From being in the medical field, you want to help people directly feel better through medicine. And you just created more clarity of where you want to go in your life. And so anything that's not having to do with medical, like that's helping people and you're not providing a medicine to someone, you shouldn't be doing. It's a distraction. Yeah, and this is, sorry, the last one I know, because a few of you, I don't want to be over, we have a minute left. This is the journal that you do tonight, but I'll go back to this, I desire to, and I can take a few more people. So what I want you guys to do is on your phone and then you can do it to your journal, is I want you to go and in your notes, I want you to write a letter to yourself. And I want you to make a commitment to yourself of what your life's gonna look like in 12 months. So I'm going to be part of an organization. I'm going to be part of a nonprofit. I'm going to volunteer 3 times. I want to make passive income. I'm going to become a yoga teacher, whatever that it is. And I want to help, this cause that I'm really passionate about. And then what I want you to do right now is in your phone is put an alarm on your phone right now. Like you can take your phone out right now and put it April 16th of 2021 at 10 a.m. I want you to put this alarm in your phone or a notification in your calendar for you to look at that note. And I want you to see how far you go. And you can I like it in your notes because you can reference it throughout the year, but I want you to do it tonight because I know in a year when you do it, when you write it down, you actually will surprise yourself how powerful once you speak something and write it into existence, how much your life can change.
I actually did something like that, but on Snapchat, because every year it shows you like today, this year in your memories.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I can always just log in. So I was like, next year, or no, sorry, last year today, I just wrote like, what am I doing with my life? Am I where I want to be?
Exactly. This is exactly what's going to get you into there. So it's like really just knowing that you really can create your life. Like I do this every month, to be honest. I do it 12 months, but I do it every month. And I shock myself every time at what can accomplish in 30 days. I've shocked myself at, I think all of us probably have been, made fun of, or we've had heartbreaks, or we've had problems with our parents and with our siblings, with whoever that it is, with if we're married or you have children yourself, we've all had problems, we've all been through some stuff. And I think and I know the power of what I'm sharing with you is if you can just allow yourself to change your perspective of that you could take control of your life and you could not only stop your suffering, but you could stop the suffering of others, of things that you've gone through. And I always say, like, I truly want to become the Colleen I wish I had when Colleen was heartbroken, when Colleen was lost in a country she didn't know with no phone and her wallet got stolen and she had to figure it out. Like, I always wish I could be, I want to be that girl for that person, that woman that's like, you know what, you can absolutely get lost, have no idea, and you can be so resilient to trust yourself enough to figure it out. And that's the life I've created and I will continue to create. And I've done it for, men and women, but I say even with men, a lot of things are going on with the whole men in movement and industry, just men. And, you want to be the guy. I think every man wants to be the guy that he did what was right. He did right for equality. He did right for his family. He did right for a greaterness. If he understands business or medicine really well, he saved maybe the child that wasn't supposed to be saved, or he helped 5 families create a business that didn't know they could, and they could send their first kid to college. I think each of you in here would love to be someone that could be that to someone else. I think we all do as humans. That's the reason of existing. So definitely do that note. You can send it to me. It's my Instagram or Facebook. You can always DM me or reach out to me. I'm always available. That's my email as well. I know from the previous lectures I've done, people still DM me and reach out to me or share with me their stuff or their problems or their business plans. I'm always happy to look it over for you. It might take me just, a little bit to get back to you, but I always get back to you. So yeah, and then any other questions from anyone? I know I want to be respectful of your time. We always go over a little bit. I don't mean to. So any other questions in here, or if you want me to go back to the other slide and someone else wanted to do that exercise, I'm happy to do that with you.
Maybe you just call on a few.
Yeah, I do. I mean, do they want to stay on? I don't know, but I'll do the exercise.
They can leave if they want to.
Okay.
They want to be here.
He always keeps us here anyway, so.
What did you say?
He always keeps us here.
Oh, okay. So
I give them the option to leave if they want to.
Yeah, let me just do this. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I desire to because of this. I desire to because it inspires me to help empower solve what problem to a larger group of people. You got it?
Yeah. Okay. Am I unmuted? Okay, perfect.
Oh, well, I just want to tell you guys something too. Sorry, this is funny. Okay. with Autumn and with Emily, I'm a little bit psychic, but I did it with both of you where I like called up both of you and then you guys called on the same, and I was like, how does that happen? But go on.
Okay, so I think I know how to do this. Okay, so I desire to spread positivity because it inspires me to empower a larger group of people. Is that how you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
people for what cause?
Oh, I think I don't know. I feel like just for the cause of like just life. Like I feel
I
like
love that.
like I don't know, I feel like just the simplest way to put it is like just being that one person who can be like the good for other people, being like the one positive impact, like can change everything for somebody. Like
Really.
for me, I feel like I talk about this a lot, but I work at Dutch Bros, so everybody's probably annoyed for me saying this, but for me, like a big part of my job is every day just going there and like knowing that I have the power to like change somebody's life just by like making a drink for them and just by like having a conversation with somebody and like being able to like just so much as give them a smile and be like a happy part of their day for 5 minutes and just knowing like how much of a difference that makes. So I feel like that's a big part for me. Just
so
like,
what I'd say for you is that you desire to guide people to find happiness because there's so much sadness.
Yeah. Yeah, and exactly. I feel like especially just like what Raphael was saying, like in a time like this, it's like as much as it kind of sucks being like a coffee shop that's open in a whole pandemic, it's like the amount of people that come there every day just because they need like a positive impact for their day. I think like being able to be that person has just kind of like changed my whole route in life and like where I want to be. So yeah, I think it's
so where I'd take that further with you, Autumn, is I'd say when you are doing this, you'd want to have an Instagram or a Facebook, whatever it is that you could call it, positive burst with Autumn. Or whatever, you know, like because you're a burst, which is amazing. So it's like something bursting with Autumn, like light bursting, happiness bursting with Autumn, positivity burst with Autumn. And every time someone's like, this really made my day, what you'd want to say to them is, thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. I actually have an Instagram account where I do positive burst with Autumn. So if this was really, I'd love for us to follow each other and we could still be connected. And eventually that's going to allow you to have a business.
Yeah. I like that. That's cute.
Anyone else? Selling out hype. Describe this to me.
I want to hear Karina.
Okay. So, honestly, I kind of don't really know, but I just desire to like, I don't know, just make an impact on someone. Like even if it's like the smallest thing.
So tell me what do you mean the smallest thing? So tell me this, play with me here. What's making an impact mean to you?
Just like doing something like selfless or like doing something with kindness. So saying like complimenting someone just randomly, or like how you did, like paying for someone some groceries for when they don't have the money for it, or just stuff like that.
And so what inspires you to want to do that?
I don't know, I want to like feel good about myself, and like I just want to be able to be like, yeah, I've helped people because I want to, not because like I need to, you know.
Got it. And so tell me, like, if you could wake up every day and you were like, I woke up every day and I really help people, what would that look like for you?
I honestly don't even know.
Like clothing? Does that mean that you just do like inspirational, kind of what Autumn said, like burst of, like you would have something? Yours, Autumn is like a burst. You're much more of like a calming, like I'm really here to allow you to feel like you matter. And not that Autumn doesn't do that, but Autumn is like a burst of work. You're like very much like, I really am here with you in every second of presence of your existence. And so maybe that's something like, would you want to do that? Would you want to do like a big email list, or you have like coffee once a week that you were like, hey, once a week I host coffees with Karina, and we get on a Zoom at 8 a.m. It doesn't matter where you are, and we just talk.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because I've noticed that recently that like when I do talk to people, I'm usually the one that stays like quiet, but I listen more.
Which is beautiful. You need both. If you had, it's not bad. I'm just using this as an example because I just feel like it's fun. But like with Autumn and I, we're both very much like this. If you had a bunch of people like this all in a room together, for after a while, we'd be like, okay, we need someone to listen. We need someone to like rein us all in, to hear all these things coming through us. It's just as important as a birth. It's both, you know? So it's really, yes, to you, Autumn. And I, you know, so maybe it's coffees with Karina, you know, once every Wednesday, and you're like, people just get together and I, you know, just kind of facilitate people talking, and I put my input in, and you do that once a month or once a week. And I'm sure you have 5 friends you could think of that would do that. Or if you see someone that's in a grocery store that's, you know, they're kind of quiet.
That sounds like a good idea.
Then you can say, you know, anyone you see, if you're walking, you see they're kind of down, like, hey, you know, I've noticed you walk a lot, or I noticed that you're kind of in class late, or this, and I do this thing, Coffee with Karina, once a month. It's totally free. Do you want to join?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Anyone else? All right. If not, this is my stuff. You can reach out to me, my Instagram or my Facebook, like I said. But it was super grateful to be here with you guys. You can always reach out to me with any questions.
I wanted to push Claudia.
Oh yeah, you want to go, Claudia? Yes, Claudia, we'll do it. Put it back up.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
I mean, these questions are hard for me. I can do organic chemistry, but these questions are hard for me.
Okay, so tell me. So what if you could do anything in the world? What do you want to do in the world? Like if you could help in any type of way, how do you want to help people?
Well, my passion is psychology, and I really like writing a lot.
I love it.
So creating something that I know touches people, not in a gross, in a good way, you know, in an inspiring way. I guess I didn't have a lot of people there when growing up, you know, going through certain trauma in my life. I didn't understand a lot of things, so I made a lot of bad choices, epically bad choices. So now I'm kind of scared to make a commitment and a choice and move forward because of how much I haven't been good at it, I guess. So it's kind of hard for me to do that, but you answered the question. It's not about, it's about what you feel, right? Your passion. Yeah.
So what would be like, let's say when you're saying I like writing, so it sounds like from what you're sharing, you've really endured a lot of emotions, and from those emotions you couldn't really feel them. You had to survive really as a little kid, and you didn't have time to process them. And so from what I'm understanding is you've now entered into a journey of life of understanding what those emotions are and knowing what it feels like to can't feel them and have to fight instead of actually exist. And so from your writing, it really sounds like what you would really guide other people to is an awareness of trauma that exists in them. Because a lot of times when we've gone through trauma, and I have gone through lots of it, I think a few of us have, in different capacities, but they're all equal because they've all impacted us the same. And so you would be guiding people to understand that you have trauma that's unresolved. And from that place of whether it's through your writing, whether it's through, you know, you host, like I said, it could be a group once a month, or you have a Facebook group, or you just do poetry, or you do write a book and you could share about that. But you using even social media as, you know, once a week, I'm going to do Tuesdays with yourself, you know, Tuesdays with Claudia, and I'm going to just do a video where I can answer questions about trauma. I'm just going to share 2 things about trauma and how I overcame it. And you could do a video, or you could do just a post. You could say like, you know, awareness of a trauma blog, or, you know, anxiety or whatever that it was, and write it out there for how people can start to overcome it.
I've actually been thinking about podcasting more.
I just started a podcast, so I think that would be a beautiful way.
So that's kind of like what I've been thinking about, and it's just pushing myself to do it. Is that first step is what's hard for me.
Well, I wouldn't say it's pushing yourself, right? Because if you're pushing yourself, you're always going to be unmotivated to do it because you're like, oh, you're raw. So it's going, okay, if there's someone who's experiencing intense trauma right now, and when I was experiencing intense trauma, I maybe didn't have an hour to listen to a podcast, but I had 10 minutes really quick for something. So can I do a quick 10-minute burst? Can I do is get on Zoom, which is totally free, record the audio on Zoom? Can I upload it on Buzzsprout, which is totally free? And can I get it on Apple iTunes, and can I just share it? Can I do it? And, and it's that easy to break it down into that small step, you know. It's and even if you have 2 listeners, you just helped 2 people out of trauma that weren't there before. And if you would have had 2 people reaching out to you, if you would have had, when you were going through that, if you could have had 2 people, even if you didn't meet them, but if you could have had that, how much could your life have changed quicker?
Yeah, it's that thing where you wish you could go back and talk to that like 11-year-old girl, or and tell her like it's gonna be okay, like don't flip out, kind of stuff.
And you are that person for people, and it's realizing. And in my book I'm writing right now, it's called An Uncompromised Life. It'll come out later this year, but I talk about the things that we go through in our life. A lot of times they aren't actually for us; they're for a greater collective healing. And so, what you're experiencing, what you just shared with me, you didn't go through that for you. You actually went through it to help other people.
I know that. I just, I have to just do it now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Literally Zoom. Just go on Zoom. Right, you can write it out on there, or you can, have your bullet points. And then Buzzsprout, BUZZSPROUT. It's a free account, and it gives you the free access to apply on iTunes for free and apply on or Spotify. And you find out within like 24, 48 hours. And you can go to Canva, CANV.com to create your little icon. They have all these templates free, and you can add different designs and stuff. And you're set. All you have to do is invest your time.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
And you can always message me on Instagram on my thing if you get stuff.
I probably will, actually.
Good. Anyone else? Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for showing up. I feel super grateful to be here. So. All right, I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for having me.
Colleen, always a pleasure. Let's do it again next semester.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Appreciate it as always. Thank you.